In this lesson, you're going to learn how to set up a proofing gallery in Sprout Studio. Now, this is going to be a pretty big lesson. There's a lot to go through, and we're going to walk through everything to do with galleries. Let's quickly just talk a little bit about galleries in Sprout Studio. One of the benefits of having your galleries in Sprout Studio next to everything else is that you get to stay organized with everything in one place, but your clients also get to get organized with everything in one place. So they can see their galleries right next to their invoices, right next to their contracts, right next to their design proofs, right next to everything else with their experience with you as their photographer. So before we set up this first gallery and start walking through this lesson, let's take a moment to make sure that you've done all of the prerequisites for this lesson. It's going to make setting up a gallery that much easier, that much simpler, and that much more straightforward. And once you've done that, let's hop in and start creating your gallery. I've already navigated to the galleries page here in Sprout, and there are a number of ways that you can add galleries here into Sprout. You can click the quick add button and click gallery here. You can go into a lead or a shoot and into their gallery page and add it from there, or you can just do it here from the global galleries page. We're going to click the add new button here, and let's start setting up our gallery. So first I'm going to set a name for the gallery. I'm going to choose just gallery for this one. We'll talk about virtual IPS galleries in a future lesson. You can choose to attach it to a shoot or leave it as unattached, whichever makes sense for you. And then you can choose for this gallery to be a placeholder or not. And we'll walk through what that means later on in this lesson. So let's go ahead and click the add gallery button. So now this is the gallery edit page. This is where you can add your photos, you can rearrange them, you can set up your settings, you can download files yourself, you can do everything that you need to do to edit this gallery right here in this page. So let's go ahead and click some photos, or click this to upload some photos, and of course you can just drag and drop photos on here if that's easier for you. And select these, and I'm gonna upload those. Now, while this is uploading, you can minimize it to keep working in Sprout so you don't have to be interrupted by it. But let's quickly open this back up and just walk through everything in here. If you click the progress button here, it's going to show you exactly what images are uploading, what the progress of each image is, as well as obviously the progress of the entire thing. And if I go back here, if you've been uploading multiple galleries at a time, you can do that and it will list all of those different galleries right here. This is all done. It says that it's been completed. I can click summary and it'll show that there's been 48 photos completely uploaded. If there was any errors in uploading, it would tell you that here. If any of them had to be overwritten, it would tell you that here. So this is sort of like your dashboard for uploads right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the view gallery button right here. And then we're going to just reload this to show the thumbnails for this gallery. And so there's all of the images that I just uploaded. And you can see initially there's a little star here on this first one. And that basically means that's what's going to be the cover photo. So that star there is showing there, and you can see up here, the cover photo is showing up there. We can go ahead and just choose any other image. Maybe we'll choose this one right here. And you can click the star right here to make it the feature image, or in a gallery in the back end, you can actually right click, and there's a whole bunch of different actions that you can do right here just by right clicking in the Sprout gallery. So I'm going to click set as featured image. And what Sprout will do now is ask me to set the focal point. And so that basically means what's the most important part of the photo. And that's important to know for the cover, because as you resize the cover, as you view a gallery on mobile devices, as you choose a different cover style that we'll walk through in just a moment, the image will be sort of moved and shaped depending on what you've chosen or what device it's on. So when you tell Sprout this is the most important part, Sprout will never crop that part of the image. So that's really important to set. And if you need to reset that, you can also just click the crop button up here on the featured image thumbnail. Click that, and then there, that's already set. So we're good to go and we're happy with that. While you're working on the gallery here in the back end, there's a little drop down right here to change the view. So to change what you're looking at here in the gallery on the back end. If you click that, you can see all photos is what's selected by default. If you want to create collections within that gallery, so sort of like folders or subfolders, you can create a new collection here. So if I want to click create collection, I can just call this collection number 1, and we'll click create. And if I click this again, you're going to see there's collection number 1. I can create maybe collection number 2 here and click create. And now I can actually select one image, and I can just drag and drop that image up here and drag it into collection number 1, for example. Or I can select one image, and if I hold the shift button, I can select multiple images, and it will select all of those between the first one and the last one. Or I can click the first one and hold the command button and select multiple photos like this, just the same way that Lightroom would work. So let's drag all those images up here into collection number 1. Another way to do it is to select the images, and instead of dragging and dropping, you can actually right click and say copy to collection. Here you can now select which collection you want to copy them into, and then click copy. A great way to get things organized here in a gallery using collections is to go into the photos not in a collection view. And that way, if you click that, it's going to show you only the photos that are not currently in a collection, so you can make sure that all of your photos end up in a collection. So let's just go ahead and do that really quickly right now. Okay, there we go. So all of our photos are in a collection. Of course, I can navigate just to a specific collection here in Sprout, or I can go back into the all photos view right here. The next thing we're going to walk through is settings. So if you click the settings button up here, you can walk through all the different configurations that you have within a gallery. And let's just take a moment and walk through some of those right now. And we are going to walk through some of the other settings for other purposes in a variation for this lesson. So hang tight if we skip over something right now. Up here, you can set the visibility to be public or private. If you click private, you can set a password if you'd like to have a password for it. Or if the gallery is attached to a shoot and you don't set a password, that means that your client would need to log into their shoot in order to view the gallery. So we'll just leave that for public for now. You can set an expiry date for the gallery. So you choose yes, and then you can set when you want that expiry date to be, if you want to have an expiry date. You can change the link for the gallery right here. So if you want this to be another name, you can. You can attach the gallery to a shoot or to a lead by clicking this here. You can also set up a message template, which is a greeting when your client first comes to the gallery. And you can choose one from your settings that you've previously set up here, or if you don't want to have one at all, you can just click the X button. On catalog is to decide whether or not you want this gallery to show up on your public catalog. We'll walk through that later on. You can turn the placeholder gallery on or off. We'll walk through again that later on. And you can turn require emails on or off, and we'll walk through that later on as well. Let's go into the advanced section here. This is where you can change the status from being in draft to being published for your clients to see. You can also do that by clicking the toggle and behind over here. You can choose a different cover style here, and we'll walk through the different cover styles in the cover style builder in another lesson. You can choose the thumbnail type if you want masonry or waterfall or grid right here. You can choose whether or not you want to offer a slideshow in the gallery by choosing the Ken Burns effect, which is like a nice fade, zoom in, zoom out, or just a simple one, or no slideshow at all. You can choose a light and dark theme here. You can choose to watermark all of the images in a gallery. You can choose to turn on or off social sharing. You can choose to turn on or off file names from being shown on the front end. And you can choose to have the all photos collection on or off. So if you want to force your clients into navigating through those collections that you just created, instead of giving them the option to view all of the photos, then you can just turn that off, or you can turn it on if you want to give them the option. The last option here is to choose where the gallery starts. So when the client goes to the gallery, where do you want them to go? Do you want them to start by just choosing one of the collections? Do you want them just to start in the all photos collection? And that way they can just view everything and then they can navigate into sub collections if they want to. Or do you want to start them in a specific collection? So you can choose which collection you want to start them on right here. We'll just leave it at the collection chooser for now. And we'll close down the advanced section. The selling section, this is where you can choose your price list and set up all of your selling functionality in the gallery. And we're going to walk through that in a later variation. So I'm going to leave that for now. And then there's the downloading option, which again, we're going to walk through in another variation. So we'll leave that for now. So from there, we're going to basically click the update button. And now we're ready to publish the gallery. So let's go ahead and click live. And when I do that, Sprout's going to ask me if I want to write an email to my client to let them know that the gallery is available. If I click write an email, it will choose my default gallery announcement email. So if I click that, then it's going to go ahead and open up that gallery announcement email. It's going to pre-populate the gallery link in here and I can send that email to my client. So I'm just going to click X for now. So the gallery is now live. It's ready. It's available for viewing. So we're going to go ahead and click the View Gallery button right here to see what it looks like on the front end. And so there's my gallery. You can see the focus, the focal point looks nice. And if I resized my screen or if I view this on a mobile device, the focus will always stay in here. So that part of the image will never go away or never be cropped out. So we'll click the Open Gallery button. And if you remember, we set up that welcome message right here. So this is that welcome message. I can click Continue to Gallery. And then this is the collection chooser that we had said that we wanted to start the gallery on. So I can either click View All Photos. And again, that button would not be there if I turned off that View All Photos option. And then there's collection number 1, there's collection number 2. So if I go View All Photos, now we're here in our gallery and we can view the images and scroll down. Now this is showing one view here. You can kind of see how this is the masonry view. If we go back and let's go ahead and actually change some settings so we can just see how they look as you start playing around with some of these settings. If I go into advanced here, let's turn this into grid and let's go ahead and start them on all photos so we can see that. And then the last thing is let's actually remove that message template. So we'll click X on that. So let's go ahead and click update and I'm going to close out of that one and we're going to open it again. So now again, same thing, there's the cover, it starts on the cover, and when I click Open Gallery, it's now going to start on all photos. So it didn't even take me to that collection chooser. Now, of course, I can click this up here, the menu, to go into all collections, and there we are there. Obviously I can go into these, but I can click View All Photos to go back into that option there. And now you're seeing this is showing as a grid as opposed to masonry. So before the view was masonry, grid will force everything into a square. Let's go back into here and just try one more change here. So one of the things that we'll note is that there is a share button right here. So let's go ahead and actually turn social sharing off. So we'll go into the advanced section here. We'll turn off social. We'll leave all this alone. And let's go into the waterfall effect here. Maybe let's even try changing the cover style. I'm going to go and choose one of the cover styles that I had created, a custom cover style, and you can do this as well by clicking simple there. And we'll go ahead and press update. And we'll close this one and we'll open it again. So there's that new cover style. This is the one that I had previously created, and this is completely customizable, so you can create whatever cover style you'd like to create. We'll click Open Gallery. And now they're going to be displayed in a waterfall style, which is sort of more like a Pinterest style as opposed to the masonry sort of brick style of thumbnails. So it's really flexible in how you want to show off your images and how you want to show off your galleries. And if you notice, there's no share button anymore. So there's only the favorite buttons because I've turned off that social sharing. Now that slideshow functionality that we talked about a few moments ago, let's just go ahead and view what that looks like. If you click the slideshow button in the top right, this is the Ken Burns effect right here. So if you look at this, it looks really, really beautiful. It looks really, really nice. And if I click the full screen button here, it actually goes into this really beautiful full screen slideshow with this nice crossfade between them. It's got this nice zoom in, zoom out effect, and it's a really beautiful viewing experience for a gallery on the web. This is sort of like what we would do in studio or what we would create with software on the computer, but this is now all living on the web. So it's a really, really beautiful effect. We'll go ahead and close out of that. Oh, I'm still in full screen view. There we go. And again, if you didn't want to have a slideshow, so again, let's just try one more variation here. If I open up settings, if I go into advanced, if I don't want the slideshow at all, I can just choose none. Maybe we'll go back into masonry and let's just try a different cover style just so we can see what another one looks like. And we'll go ahead and click update. We'll close this one and we'll open it again. So there, this is now a different cover style altogether. I will click View Gallery, and there we are. The slideshow button is now gone. I'm back into masonry, and now I can view the images. Now in the gallery here on the front end, it's very simple for your clients to view. Obviously they can scroll around or they can click an image, and navigating a gallery is very, very simple and very, very beautiful, and it keeps the focus on your photography. And so that's how you set up your first proofing gallery in Sprout Studio. Obviously, there's still a lot to unpack, and we are going to have variations here in this lesson, but that's how at least you get started with galleries in Sprout Studio. Let's walk through watermarking your images in a gallery. So if you want to publish a gallery for your clients to see and you want to give them this big, beautiful full screen experience, but maybe you're concerned about them having access to big images like that on their screen that they could just screenshot. Well, you can automatically watermark all of your images in this gallery, and you can even change the watermark after the fact. It's not something that you have to choose as you upload. So let's walk through doing that right now. I have the gallery still pulled up, and we're going to click the settings button over here. And if you go into advanced, you can choose watermark and choose one of your watermarks. So I've got one already set up. If you haven't set one up already, I would recommend doing that. We'll just choose test watermark, and that's all that you have to do. I'm going to click update here, and then we're going to go ahead and view the gallery. Now, all of the images will have that watermark the way that I set it up. Now, this maybe isn't the way that you would want to set up your watermark. This is just used as a test. I've got this big logo over top of their faces, but maybe you want to create just a nice simple one that says proof, or maybe you want to have your logo in the bottom right corner, whatever makes sense for you. But you can basically set this up exactly how you want to have it set up, and the watermark will automatically be added to all of your images in the gallery. One of the greatest ways to use galleries in Sprout Studio is to allow your clients to purchase prints and products from you. So let's walk through doing that right now in this gallery. I've got the gallery still pulled up here, and I'm going to click the settings button in the top right. This time I'm going to go into the selling section of the settings, and we're going to set up some of these right here. The first thing I'm going to do is choose which price list I want to use. So we're going to use my wedding price list. Now this is going to ask me if I want to add any of the default items that I've already set up in my price list. We're going to leave that for now. I'm going to not add those because that's a whole other sort of can of worms to get into. So I'm going to click don't add. And of course, if I want to manually add any items here, so if I want to give the option of purchasing a portrait book or digital downloads or anything like that, I can do that right there. Set up the tax over here. This is where you can choose the collection method. So when a client purchases from this gallery, how would you like them to pay? So we're going to turn off check for now and kind of force them into using a credit card. This option here is to choose which shipping methods you want to allow your clients to choose from. I'm just going to have pickup and shipping that I've already set up over here. And then we're going to choose whether or not we want to even allow the client to enter a coupon code, or if we want to not even have that coupon code option in the checkout. So we're going to turn that off for now, and let's go ahead and click update. So now we will view the gallery here in the top right. And now what you'll see is as I go into the gallery, there will be a new button with a shopping bag on it, and you're going to see it here, and you'll also see it when you go into the thing here, into the image here. There's an order button. If I click order button here, this is now where the client will be able to choose what size they'd like to purchase from you, and this is all based on your price list. They can choose 8x10, and then they can choose what kind of 8x10. Again, this is all set up in your price list. If I can click framed, they can click the learn more button where it'll show a beautiful image that you've set up, the description that you've set up, and so on and so forth. So it's a really nice viewing experience. They can set up which quantity they'd like, and then they can click add. And it shows them the cart. And initially, they can choose to check out or they can keep shopping. So I'm going to click keep shopping, and we'll kind of move on from there. Okay, we will close out of this, and you're going to see the little shopping cart in the top right corner. And you're also going to notice that on the images that they've purchased for their prints, there's going to be a little shopping bag here that is black to indicate that they've ordered that one already. If they click this little cart icon, it's going to show this sort of quick little view of it, and then they can go ahead and click checkout. This is now where they can choose from those shipping options that you had set up previously. They can also, if you had turned on coupons, they could have put in a coupon here. If there's any notes that they'd like to send to you, they can specify that here. They can, of course, change the details of these individual prints or change the quantities of them if they want to update them, or they can remove them. And when they're done, they can click the checkout button. This is now where they'll fill out their billing information, their shipping information, and then they'll be prompted to pay the way that you had specified they're allowed to pay previously. And so that's how you sell prints in a gallery. One of the ways that you might want to use a Sprout Studio Gallery is to let your clients download their images. And you maybe want to let them download all of the images, or maybe you want to let them download just a certain number of images. We're going to walk through the first option there. How do you let your clients download all of their images? The really neat thing about the way that the Sprout Studio galleries are set up is that the download functionality is very robust, very flexible, and can work exactly the way that you want it to work. So let's walk through setting up downloads in a gallery right now. I've got the gallery pulled up over here, and we're going to click the settings button on the top right, and then we're going to go into the downloading section over here. Now this is where you can set up the download permissions. So for each different kind of person that's viewing the gallery, you can set very specific permissions for them. So for example, anyone viewing the gallery, what are they allowed to download? And you can choose a download preset here that you can set up in settings. And so you choose whatever one you want to let them. Maybe you want to let everyone that's on the gallery, they can download a low resolution watermarked version of the images. And maybe you only want to let them do that for individual photos. So on a single photo, they can download that one. Or if you want to give them the option to download everything, they can click a download button and it'll give them a zip file of all of the images. You can do that as well. We're going to go ahead and just put that back to default. The second download permission here is for the client when they're logged in. So if you have this gallery attached to a shoot, then when the client is logged in, they have a different set of permissions. So maybe you don't want to let everybody viewing the gallery download anything and only let your client download something, in which case you can let your client download high resolution unwatermarked. They can download everything, and they can download photos individually. Or maybe you want to do that for clients, but then let anyone else viewing the gallery download individual photos with a watermark. So you can make this work very flexibly. Maybe you want to let anyone that goes there download images with your watermark on it. So if they want to share it on social media, they can. It already has your watermark on it. It's good to go. But your client has paid for digital files, and so they're allowed to download the high resolution unwatermarked versions. That's how flexible it can be. The last thing you can set up here for unlimited flexibility is as many different download passwords as you'd like to set up. So maybe you want to give a vendor, specific downloads, or you want to give someone else that you worked with the ability to download photos. You can click new download password here. You can give it a name. Obviously, let's just put vendor for here. Password, we're just going to put test123. And then download preset, this is now again to specify what download preset you want to give them. We'll click high resolution unwatermarked. And so now when someone goes in there, If they're not logged in, by default, they're going to get the everyone else download permission unless they type in the password that you just specified here, in which case they will be able to download using this download preset. It can be a little bit complicated, but you can see how flexible this is to work in your business exactly the way that you want it to work. I'm just for now going to click the X button there, and I'm going to leave it so that everyone is allowed to download, and we're going to go in and view that. So the only one that I've set up here is that everyone else can download low resolution watermarked, and they can do it for all photos or individual photos. Let's save that and go and view the gallery now. So we're going to click View Gallery. And the first thing that you're going to notice is in the top right corner, there's a download button. That is to download everything in the gallery. So if you turned on that everyone permission, then they'll be able to click this, type in their email, and they can request the download. Sprout will email them the link to that download, that zip file, as soon as it's ready. Or you can click on an individual image and click the download button right here, and that will download just that image onto their computer. Let's quickly just run through a few different scenarios here so you can see the different variations of this. If I click X, we're going to go back into the settings here, and let's turn off the all download. So if I click download here, you see there's this all and favorites. If I turn that off, that means that only people that are in the gallery can download individual files. So we'll click update, close this, and we're going to open it again. Now you're going to notice that the download button in the top right is actually gone because they can't download every single file in this gallery. They can only download individual files. Let's go ahead and click X here and make another variation. If I go into settings, I'm going to open up downloads, and let's actually add back that download password. So let's type in vendor test123, and then we're going to choose a preset and click add. So now anyone going to the gallery who's not logged in will be able to download individual files if they don't have a password using this download preset, or if they have a password, they can download using a different preset. So we'll go ahead and click update and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, we'll click the view gallery button in the bottom right, and let's go into an image here and click download. So now they have the option to download just the generic, everyone's allowed to download this, click here, type in a download, or they can put in that password that you gave them. And if they put in that password, they're going to get a totally different size file with a totally different watermark, however you have it set up. There we go, we'll click X. And the last variation that I want to run through, let's kind of click up settings here. Let's only make it so our client is able to download. So if I go into downloading, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to let it so my client, when they're logged in, can download this, and we'll click update. So now when I go here as the public, I will not be able to download. So if I'm not logged into this gallery, I won't be able to download. So now you can see here, I can't download anything. I'm not logged in as the client, so I'm not able to download anything here. And so that's how you can set up downloads in a really flexible way in your Sprout Studio galleries. Let's say that you want to set up a gallery for a client, but you want to specify a certain number of items or images or prints or products or digitals that they're allowed to download. So maybe, for example, you only want to let them download 5 digital files, as opposed to letting them download everything in the gallery. Or maybe perhaps with their package, they had pre-purchased 3 8x10 prints, and you want to give them the ability to fulfill those in the gallery. However you want to use this, it's totally up to you, but there is the ability in Sprout Galleries to very simply and very easily give your clients credit for something that they can then fulfill in their gallery when they're logged in. Let's walk through how to do that right now. So I have the gallery pulled up here, and I've actually attached this to a shoot because the gallery would need to be attached to a shoot because the client needs to be logged in order to use the credit functionality. So on the left-hand side here, I'm going to click credits and coupons, and we're going to add a new credit for this client. So I'm going to click add new, we're going to click add credit, and then specify which items or which price lists rather we want to choose the items from. So I'm going to go ahead and click wedding price list and then click add. So in here, now I can set up what they have a credit for. So if they have a credit for 8x10 prints, or if I want to let them download 5 images, whatever the case is, I can add those items here so that they have the credit for this. Now the nice thing is that you can set this up to happen automatically. In your price list, there is an auto credit functionality, meaning that when a client purchases an item, for example, in their booking proposal, or if you set up an invoice for them with an item, it can automatically generate this credit for them so you don't have to do it manually. For now, we're just going to set this up to give them 3 prints, 8x10s, and 5 digital files. So we're going to give it a name, and then we're going to start adding the items here. So let's add those prints first. I'm going to choose 8x10 print, and I'm going to give them 3 of them. So we're going to click add, and then we're going to choose digital, and I'm going to choose archival digital files, and we're going to give them 5 of them. So click add to order. So now you can see here, they have 3 prints, 8x10s, and they have 5 digital files. Now I can remove all of them or individual ones if I'd like to. And it also shows here the status is waiting, meaning that the client hasn't chosen these yet. I can give a description here if I'd like to. Let's just kind of quickly put in some lorem ipsum just so we can see what it looks like on the front end. And maybe we'll get rid of some of that. There we go. And we'll click update. So basically that is now the credit created for the client so that when they log into their gallery, they're able to choose those things and let you know, and then you can fulfill them. So let's go into the gallery here. And I'm going to click the little menu button here. You can do a lot here from the gallery list page, and you can do it either from this Shoots gallery list page, or same thing as from the gallery page here. You can edit the gallery, which takes you into the edit page. You can open the settings to edit the settings. You can quickly set the expiry date. You can view the gallery, or you can add it to your catalog. There's lots that you can do. For now, we're just going to click view gallery. Now I'm already impersonating the client here on the front end so that I can see what the client sees when they're logged in. We'll show you how to do that in a future lesson, but this is when the client logs in. This is exactly what they're going to see here, obviously minus this viewing client portal as in the bottom left corner. We'll click view gallery, and you're going to see here there's this credit available button. So this shows them that they have a credit for something. So when they click that, there's the beautiful little name of the credit. It looks like a little coupon. There's the description, and then they can choose use credit. When they choose use credit, it's going to show them here's the prints that they have, and here's the digitals that they have. Again, you can see there's 3 8x10 prints, and there's 5 digital files. So now all they have to do is click select photo, and they go and choose which photo they'd like. They click that one, and they can click continue. And now that image will be one of their 8x10 prints for that there. They can go ahead and choose that. Let's go and choose a black and white one, and I'm going to choose 2 of that. Now they can't choose 3 because they only have 2 8x10s left. So they can go ahead and click continue. And there's 2 of their 8x10s right there. Now for digital files, let's choose this. You're going to notice that there's no spinner on this because, well, you can't order more than 1 of a digital file. So they're going to choose 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And down here you can see here you've selected 5 of your up to 5 photos. So click continue, and there's their 5 digitals. Now what they can do is they can click submit to photographer, and that will now basically send it to you, the photographer. Now I have digital fulfillment turned as pending for this, so that's a whole other sort of conversation that you can set up in your price list, but we'll go ahead and click go back to gallery, and we're just going to leave the gallery here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into that credits page here as the photographer, and now you're going to see here the status is changed to submitted, meaning the client has submitted those images to you. So if I click on their credit here, you can see here there's submitted prints. If I open this, it shows that they've submitted those. And if I see digital items here, you can see again they've submitted those. Now for those, I can view exactly what they submitted. So there's the file name that they did, and you can show that with a comma separated if there's multiple, or just with a line. But obviously for this, there's only 1, so it's not going to make a difference. And we're going to close that up. Now with digital fulfillment, that's one of the things that you saw there on the front end that the photographer will get back to you. You've got 5 digital files here, and you're going to see this little note here that says a digital download set from the Carnielli family has been created and is ready for fulfillment for this credit. Basically meaning that because we have a digital fulfillment here, so you've got these 5 digital files that the client chose, Sprout will automatically gather those into a digital download set for you, so that you can go in, you can re-upload those, you can remove them, you can change them, whatever. And then when you're ready to let your client download those, you just make that live, or you can set it up so it does it automatically and the client can then download those. You can click this go to gallery button to get there, or I'll show you how to get there manually. We'll go into the gallery here. We're going to click Carnielli family. And then that little navigation bar up here that we used before in the collection browser, I'm going to click that, and you're going to see there's a download set, and there's Micah's gallery, or Micah's credit, sorry. That's the credit that we just submitted. And there's those 5 images that they chose, and right now you can see it set to draft. Now, if you click this little download set options button, this is where you can get a link to this. You can set up what the download set is going to be. So if you want to give them watermarked versions, or they can purchase watermarked versions, you can set this up exactly how you want it to be. And when I click live, it's going to prompt me to send an email to them, to email them the link to that download set. I'm going to skip it for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little button here. I'm going to click cancel, and then I'm going to go link. And that's basically going to open up the link to this download set. So now this is where the client can go. This is a link that they would get emailed, where they can now put in their email address and they can download those 5 images that you've created. If I click X on that, just really quickly, I want to show you, you can make as many download sets as you'd like. So if you want to make your own download set, you can. If a client says, can I have these 3 images, and you want to retouch them for them and give them downloads for them, you can. If I go back into all photos, and maybe I wanted just to give them this one because I really love this image and I know that they really love this image, I can right click it, say copy to download set. I can choose that download set that I already have, and I'm going to click copy. And when I click here and go back into that download set, there's that black and white image that's been added. So now they get 6 images as opposed to the 5. So you can have this be as flexible as you'd like, but that's basically how you can give your clients credit for prints or products or digital files, and limit the number of prints, files, and digital files that they get included. And then maybe you want to tell them that they can purchase any extras if they'd like to.